Hey everyone, we're back with our second episode in a row. Epic. I'm a dirty
Isn't our
douchey
third?
casual.
Our upload
Second episode in a
schedule is
row.
so good.
Oh right.
Yay.
This is technically the second episode in a row because the other episode that I'm gonna post is from a long time ago. But we don't.
I thought we already posted that one.
No, I didn't. It's in my Premiere. I haven't exported it.
Smooth.
Man,
Yeah.
so you did the one that you that you recorded way before to upload second?
Yeah.
Huh? That's so bad. Okay, anyways. All
Alright,
right,
yeah.
anyway.
Let's move along.
I'm Sunny, as y'all know. This is Chow knockoff Sonic.
Don't introduce me, you whore. I'm Cat. And
Shao gets offended.
today, we're gonna be talking about some pretty interesting stuff. Take it away, Kaika.
So let's start off with our first topic, and this is a pretty hot and contentious topic right now. It has something to do with what just somebody did with his mouth. That's the bombing in Syria. No, Biden was presented to be as like the master negotiator in foreign affairs, right? Like that's how he was presented, and then it turns out he was bombing people in Syria.
For like no reason.
Well, literally, no one knows why. And Kamala Harris, right? I don't know why. I think a reporter asked her or something. And they asked her, do you know about the bombings in Syria? And she said, what bombings? After they already happened. So it just goes to show no one knows what the fuck is going on in the administration.
Our government is so together. We're just all connected by these little tiny strings that can easily be snipped. And honestly, communication in that White House is fucked. Like Kamala, I know she's a bad vice president, but come on, at least tell the woman what you're gonna do. You crazy Joe. Come on, don't just press the button.
Yeah, I think it was sort of I don't know why, but I feel like it was damage control or something.
Well, yeah, it was
Damage
because
control for
what?
it was because Syria bombed U.S. citizens and at a military base. And
Well, no, I'm talking about her response.
her response, I have no.
I think she meant to say something else,
Mm-hmm.
but played it off differently, like dumb, because she forgot or something. I wouldn't be surprised. I think she knows, right? The vice presidents, they get briefings, right?
I mean,
There's
or
no
she's
way.
trying to paint him as a bad guy. Like, oh, I'm not a part of this. That's all him.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of speculation. At least with Trump, he got his hands everywhere in the government, everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the positive thing about Trump. He just, he was all hands in. But with Biden, I don't know if he's even half brain in, right?
Yeah,
That guy doesn't know where he
I'm pretty
is.
sure he's like. I honestly, I don't think he's mentally present. I'm pretty sure he just like
Right.
teleports from like place to place because he just so bad memory. It's like, oh, I signed the bill.
Right.
Oh, now
So
I'm in bed.
this is my theory. Either Biden is just signing things just left and right, he doesn't know what it is, or
He's being shepherded around by Kamala.
he invoked a bootleg 14th Amendment where someone else gets the president's role.
I mean,
And he's
there's
just there.
there's proof that he doesn't really know sometimes what he's signing. Like I said in an earlier episode, hopefully it will be out before this episode.
Yeah.
But that there's a clip where he's signing his first 3 bills, and he's like, I don't know what's on here, and Kamala says, just sign it. So there's already proof out there that some of the things he does sign, he doesn't know what's on there. But this is a bit sus of a situation.
Sus. Very sus.
Yeah, that man is just a flying corpse,
Flying?
place to place.
Is he flying? What is he, a bird?
Yeah.
You could have just said walking corpse.
He has the IQ of a bird.
Got him.
Actually, let's see what the IQ of a bird is.
It's not too high.
Yeah.
Sorry, he has the mental capacity of a bird. He's not that low, right? He can't
Yo, wait,
be
let's
like
see.
10 range. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, I'm not against the president having 10 IQ.
Wait,
But-
why aren't you against the president having 10 IQ?
Wait,
Alright, let
what
me
is
explain
IQ?
this.
What
So-
is IQ of a bird?
If I don't know, but I assume it's like 10 or less, right? I think that's a good base, right? Let's just assume that.
Maximum 15.
Right, max. I'm okay with a president, having 10 IQ as long as they win correctly,
Yeah,
right?
like democratically, yeah.
Right. Well, not in our system. They have to conform to our system.
Right.
If they
Democratically with an asterisk, because we're not really a democracy.
were a republic, yeah.
Right. And thank God for it, because honestly, bro, democracies
Democracy is
kind of lame. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I mean, I'm not against I'm against total democracy, but I'm not against it being included in some aspects in our government. I think in some aspects it's good, but in most it's bad.
All right.
Well, because we're talking about Biden's IQ, let's talk about his cognitive abilities. So
Did
he
we
was
just do
making
that?
yeah.
What?
I don't know.
This
No.
podcast
There's
is
more.
fucking
No,
Alright,
there's
go
more.
for it,
There's
go
more.
for it,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
for it.
We're talking about his cognitive abilities, all right? And I don't know what he was saying or the context of it, but he was giving out a speech to some people, and it sounds like he accidentally said the N word.
Oh,
He's-
here we
we're
go.
jumping. Okay, we're going. Okay.
Yo, Kaga, could you
let's-
show this on the screen?
Look, the range of challenges Europe and the United States must take on together is broad and complex. I'm eager to hear next.
So he said, okay, I don't say the N word at all, right?
I don't think anyone.
So for me, it's very difficult to understand what he was trying to say. He said, I'm not going to say like the actual word because I think most people are aware, but it seems like he stumbled on his word, accidentally said the N word, and then continued speaking.
Right, because
I don't know.
the thing is, though, what I think what's really like funny to that is by virtue of being like the Democratic president, right, and being whatever Trump isn't, he has sort of this weird immunity shield from all of the bogus racism claims. I think that Biden is racist, but I don't think that was racist. I think it was a mistake. But
Right.
in a equal and fair system, either nobody would be called racist for no reason, or everybody would be called racist for no reason. And Biden, in particular, is kind of racist. So I was kind of surprised that nobody said anything, except I wasn't, because all of the people who make the racist claims are Democrats.
I mean, in his
Right.
defense, he was trying to say eager, and
Yeah, no, it was a mistake.
it was a mistake, obviously. But you know, if Trump made a small mistake, fucking outroar in the media. But when Biden does it,
Insta. Like,
insta,
you couldn't even
Get
blink
outta
your
here.
eyes. Ben Shapiro would be like, guys, I'm really disappointed, right? This
let's hypothetically here.
hypothetically, this president has done us really wrong, and I'm really hoping that he gets impeached in the next election cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. He messed up. He obviously didn't mean to say it in his defense, but it's really
He didn't even
hypocritical.
apologize. He didn't even apologize.
He's old. I'm pretty sure he mentally doesn't even aware that
No,
he
I
actually
know,
even did
but-
anything.
I mean, I don't know. Trump's kind of a boomer. I don't know why they weren't like keeping everybody to the same standards. Except they do, because again, there's the same party, so they wouldn't call someone racist if they were working for
Exactly.
their own goals. You know, because I also think that a lot of the liberals who voted for Biden voted for him on false pretenses because they literally just couldn't stand Trump, but also they didn't really know what Biden was really like, which is a great segue to our next topic.
You guys and your segues are really ass. You guys can't do it smoothly. You guys gotta be
Bro.
segue.
Segues are amazing.
Segue.
Segue.
You're forcing it like with a knife. Like, segue. Anyways, let's talk about the kids, right?
What?
Kids.
What?
Kids?
No. Okay, kids are next, but before that,
Well, you segue or not?
this is okay. We need. Okay, hold on. Just put up the blame chow image. I don't even care anymore. And we're back. Sorry, we were having technical difficulties. But
Yeah, technical
anyways,
difficulties.
yeah,
Blame chow.
I kind of fucked up. All right, it's pretty usual for me. But hey,
Blame chow image. Go now.
blame chow funny.
I'm not gonna shame him that hard. No.
Okay. So
Wow.
where were we? Right.
Oh my god!
Shut the fuck up! It's part of my segue. It's part of my segue. I'm trying to make it natural.
Hurry up,
bitch.
go. Hurry
Okay?
up. Make your
Okay.
stupid segue.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Who the fuck cares? We're talking about Biden's lies. We're talking about his bullshit campaign that got people to vote for him under false pretenses. You know what I'm talking about.
So basically
I
a
know
regular
what I'm-
politician.
Pretty much, but like
Yeah.
also with the backup of the entire Democratic Party. Basically, right? You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. How did they not? So, first off with the lies, we go to the relief checks. Kaiko, would you
Oh,
like
I'm getting
to-
2,000. Oh, you go.
Yeah. So Biden, like, his thing was basically after he won the election, or let me rephrase this. Before he won the election, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna get the 2K stimulus checks passed, right?" And after he won the election, he's like, "Okay, well, there's one little insy bincy problem, Georgia." So he's like, "All right, if you make sure these senators are elected, I will on day one pass the 2K stimulus checks." Well, it's been a little bit over a month, and he still hasn't passed them. So I wonder why. And he has full control of the Senate and House, by the way, right? Aside
Mhm.
from the filibuster, but Democrats are already playing around with the idea that they could pass the 2K stimulus checks as a. I forgot the exact term, but they could basically pass it as long as it doesn't really like fuck up the debt to an extreme, which is like, bro,
Which
it's
it will
1.9
fuck
trillion
up,
dollars. Like, yeah, and it's already been passed, right? All they need to do is just put it on the floor. So we gotta think, well, why is this not happening?
Because Biden's a fucking liar.
Yeah, and he's actually not, stupid, or not totally stupid, right? He understands that if we spend too much money, the value of the dollar will deflate.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't think that's what he was thinking about.
Really?
I really don't think that Democrats care about the worth of the dollar. Honestly, I kind of don't. What I think what happened is Biden made the promise of the $2,000 relief checks because he knew that he needed the votes of socialists in order to like the people who would normally be voting for Bernie in order to win the election. That's that force, the force of the Bernie bros that voted for Biden, I think was one of the tipping points that allowed Biden to win the election. Not a driving
Really?
force particularly, but definitely a tiebreaker to be sure. And the reason why this is because there were a lot of Bernie bros who said, no, you know what? Fuck the DNC. I hate him, but I'm going to vote for Trump out of protest. Biden couldn't have that. If all of the Bernie bros, or at least most of them, voted for Trump instead of Biden, I'm not saying it would have definitely been this way, but we might have had a very different election turnout. And
Really?
yeah, and I think more importantly than that is Biden had to basically play both hands of the Democrats. One being the sensibility and moderacy of the center, and then also the need for change and progress of the more extreme radical left. He had to do both.
Right.
But they're conflicting, naturally. And what he had to do is basically he had to say, we're going to increase the relief checks during the pandemic to $2,000 because, difficult times, yada, yada, yada. And the thing is, that sounds great to people who are really, really struggling right now. And that includes socialists, because they probably weren't doing too well in the first place. And now, we're in a position where Biden has been basically thrust into choosing between these two different sides of the DNC and the Democratic Party in general. And he's just every single time he's been given a choice between the two sides, he's picked the one that has made him look the worst. I don't know how he's done it, but he's been moderate where he's really needed to be extreme, at least for his base, and vice versa. If he really wanted to, he could theoretically make the $2,000 relief checks happen. But he was never wanted to. It was a ploy to get him elected. And you might have some disagreements with me on this, and I'm fair enough to debate, kind of like Trump with the wall. I mean, sure, he actually might have wanted to do that. He might have actually wanted to make the wall, but the wall didn't happen. And it got people to elect for him, and it got people to vote him out when it didn't happen the next election cycle.
I disagree with you in the point of Trump didn't succeed in the wall, because as a person who drove to Mexico and saw the border and the wall, quote unquote, when you think of a wall, what do you think of? Either Great Wall of China or a tall wall of bricks. But
Right.
it wasn't like that, but it was a wall, like a standard wall. So he kind of did succeed in that, just not to the extent as everyone thought he was.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you may find that Biden may later on in his presidency succeed more when it comes to his socialist policies and giving out relief for people who need it during his presidency. But I mean, Trump didn't get the wall where it is right now on his first month. But the problem is, the wall was a goal, but the relief checks, especially to his base, and especially like the Bernie Bros who voted for him, was sort of like there was no time to wait, because at some point the damage
That was
will be
part of the
done,
bargain,
and
right?
then the pandemic will be over, and it will be too late to make up for the loss. So,
Mhm.
And I will say this. Biden was definitely very strategic with it when he said that he was only going to be a one-term president, because he knew that by saying that, the Bernie Bros and the people who wanted the 2K relief checks will have basically no way to fight back against Joe in 4 years, because he just won't be running. And someone else, some other figurehead, will promise the same things and do the same things as Biden and Kamala.
Yeah, I mean, you go for it, Sonny.
Okay. So I feel like there's a huge difference between Trump and obviously Biden, because they're both opposites. But I feel like Trump has done what he promised. Biden so far has not done what he's promised to, like in the beginning. He promised the stimulus checks right when he was in office, and obviously people are outraged because there's legit memes all around it. Like people who voted Biden were like, I can't. I'm gonna get my stimulus checks, but guess what they get instead? A fucking airstrike to Syria. And
Hey, Ari, could you put that
Trump
up? Fuck!
is one of the few, if not the only president that hasn't got us into war.
Yeah.
Like think of it, he's been in office for 1 month.
Okay,
He
fair-
already sent troops over to Syria and airstrikes. So can you explain that?
to be fair to Biden, Trump was not the only president that didn't bring us into war. There's been past presidents. Just in our lifetimes, he's the only president that hasn't gone to war. But
Well, right. He's also been, I'd say one of the most, not the most Republican, but the most connected with the Republican Party and the Republican values. So that's not really a
Right.
surprise. But as it stands with Biden, starting wars that Trump never did, I think when you said that Trump made good on all of his promises, honestly, I sort of agree, but truly, I kind of think that really it wasn't really about what Trump did. It was about what he didn't do. Namely, start wars with other countries and, get unreasonably close to starting World War III,
Yeah.
or spike tensions with Russia, or really even like China and North Korea. Sure, he was, a little bit cocky on Twitter, but notice how just a couple months after that whole feud started, they were having peace talks in like May of 2017. Like That's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you
Trump
look-
is Go
Peacekeeper,
for it.
bro.
Yeah.
He's the peacekeeper.
well.
I would like
He's
say
done a
'cause
lot of
he-
peace in the
oh, yeah.
world. His
Right.
foreign
Exactly.
policy is actually it's ingenious, and not a lot of people give him credit for that, which
Right.
is unfortunate.
But again, it's about what he didn't do. Biden,
I think it's what he stood for, though.
really
And he
the
brought
only-
back football.
Okay, honestly.
No. I think it's what he stood for, right? Because he was, as Ben Shapiro says, he's just a giant pulsating middle finger to the establishment, right? When he gives the State
yeah.
of the Union and Nancy Pelosi is standing behind him with the, her head to the floor, like that's funny. That's really funny because for the past 4 years during Obama's term, people in rural areas, people who are conservative, people who are Republican, have been ridiculed by the left, right? So I think it's more of a just fuck you to Democrats. I think that's why he was so successful in rallying support. I don't think it's what he didn't do or what he did do. I think it's what he stood for.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that in addition to that, I think that it's about that Trump didn't do all these crazy things, and notably, the only thing Biden didn't do was make up on his promises with the 2K relief checks. Speaking
Right.
of which, yes, another segue, and no, I'm not going to be subtle. Fight me. We got to talk about the kids in sorry, I was about to say cages.
Yeah, no.
Not cages. They're containment units. Yes, this is real. And no, I don't want to live anymore. Biden is putting kids in force of habit. Containment
Containment.
units.
Aw.
The same not the same way. The same way that, that all the leftists are angry about Trump putting kids in cages, except they're not
didn't.
cages. Totally not cages.
Wait.
They're cages.
So, but did Trump really put him in the cages, or was it Obama and his vice president? Let me say this: Joe Biden.
Funny.
Yeah,
how
I
it
mean,
works.
Obama actually put kids in cages, and Trump sort of just he just rode that policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of ironic, but I guess it's like the circle of life. Everything comes full circle, right? Obama implemented the cages. Joe Biden was his president, and now Joe Biden's president, so he's dealing with the repercussions of those decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Twitter, right? They've been sort of nice to Biden, but AOC and other progressives in Congress, they've been ripping him up. I mean, it's bad.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing, though.
It's a good thing
Because
because
they have
it shows
some nuance. Of some kind,
Well-
anyway.
it shows that the double standard is not as bad as I thought it was.
But honestly, I really do think that, it's about the people. Because, AOC and a lot of the higher ranked blue check marks, I think that okay, this is going to sound a little dehumanizing, but I think that they're actually, people. Please don't take that out of the context. What I mean by that is, have you ever heard of, the fucking NPC meme from, 2 or 3 years ago? It was, in 2018. It was, the leftists are NPCs and the rightists are Russian bots. That whole thing. I think that there are a lot of leftists who, their entire ideology was taken straight from MSNBC, CNN, BBC, etc. And they don't really have a lot of, thought on their own. And I think that people like AOC are actually, an exception to that. Just because of how high they are in the ladder, they're actually allowed to think for themselves. But,
Oh, I think you said dehumanizing, right? I think the correct word is I think the correct term you should use is she believes what she's saying, right?
Right.
I think a lot of the times Democrats, they just sort of go with it just for the sake of their seat so they don't get fucked in the ass when it comes to the midterm.
Yeah, they just say the
Mhm.
PC script and then they move on.
Yeah, but I think AOC actually believes what she's saying, right? Which is
Yeah.
different from most people in Congress. At least that's what I think.
I don't know whether it's better or worse.
I think it's better if you believe what you say.
I do. But, the things that she believes in are, super
Y-
cringe.
At least she's genuine about it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. That is better.
Yeah, that's way
Right.
better than just mindlessly following something that you just have to believe in
Like-
because it's the majority.
If you think with all of your brain matter and you come to the conclusion that you're a leftist or socialist or God forbid a commie, whatever, and you're like choosing to like base that belief off of all sources, not just the big ones, right? Then honestly, fair enough. Honestly, fair enough. I disagree in a major way, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter what I think. As long as you're coming
Right.
to your own opinions by yourself, I think that's fine. The problem comes in when you have these people who believe in one thing, and then they get all these other people who don't know what they're talking about to basically just believe whatever they're believing through, like, propaganda and academia and that such. That's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I agree, to be honest. At least, like, I really dislike AOC's beliefs, right? But I could tell she's a genuine person, and I respect her for that, in that regard, at least, right?
Yeah.
I think this really is shown during, what was that time in history where Prohibition, when people couldn't drink alcohol. A lot of Congress people, they were really against alcohol, but they were drinking alcohol behind everyone's back just so that they could satisfy their constituency, right?
Right.
And I think that's how a lot of Congress people think about like Medicare for all or stimulus checks. And this also goes on the Republican Party as well, right? I think a lot of people dislike Trump, but because, they need to win their seats so that they can be in power, they hang with Trump or they approve of Trump.
Or
Well,
at least
what
don't
about
go
Mitt
against
Romney?
him.
Well, Mitt Romney's a little different. He's
He's
special.
like, isn't he like AOC in the sense of how she talked to Joe Biden and Mitt Romney's talks against Trump and what he did?
I don't know if Romney's like. I don't know if he's genuine though. I just don't know. I wish he was like. I respect Romney in the sense that he goes against most Republican beliefs, and not like foundational Republican beliefs. I mean, sort of minute differences like supporting Trump.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I sort of respect him for that, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's genuine. So I don't respect him for being genuine, but I respect him for going against the grain when all points him to not going against the grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was doing it because have you guys realized Utah wasn't it red the previous election? Or was it
Yeah,
blue?
I think every county voted red.
Well, I don't know if it's just me, but I've seen a lot of younger kids that are gonna vote in his when he's gonna what's this called for when he runs
Senate.
for his Senate. That a lot of them are turning blue, like especially the young ones.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know if it's like because the majority people in Utah or Salt Lake City, especially, are Mormons, and younger Mormons are turning very leftist and against their own religion. In my how I see it, you know.
Is Mormonism inherently Republican
Yeah.
in some way?
Well, the younger generation, because of the majority popularity of the Democrats, and sorry, I almost said the bad word, liberals, and
Careful.
sorry, force a habit. They really made it okay for them to go against what their core values were when they were taught as children, and just follow it like sheep, like just cattle.
Right. And the interesting thing about Romney is he's a liberal Republican from Massachusetts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not really from Utah, but because Utah is not, hardcore red like Wyoming, but sort of not a swing state, he can sort of get away with his beliefs. So it's an interesting, situation that he's in right now. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want him out of office. I mean, maybe I would. I think Romney is
I
an
don't know.
interesting character. I don't know.
He's special.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I'm glad I wasn't allowed to vote for Romney in 2012 because
Would
I
you?
think. Well, how can I vote for him? I wasn't 18.
No,
yet.
but what do you have?
Would I?
Would you have had?
Over
Like without this
Obama?
knowledge right now, with the knowledge
like-
you had back then.
What knowledge now?
Knowledge now.
Probably no. Just because I think Trump would have done more good than Romney, right? I think Trump produced more good than Romney
but
ever could
say-
have.
Back in the election of Obama and Romney, would you have voted for Romney?
with the knowledge of what would happen after, or without
No,
the
with
knowledge?
with no knowledge afterwards. Like you're 18, and with the knowledge you had back then, would you have voted for Romney?
So, if I was okay, it depends, right? If I knew the seriousness of identity politics and what Obama
Mhm.
was playing, yeah, 100%, I'd vote against him or vote for Romney. Excuse me. But because I don't think I would have known about identity politics as much as I know
Mhm.
today, I don't know if I would vote for Romney just because he's not really he doesn't line up with my values per se. But it's a tough situation, right? Because my view is so skewed of him, especially nowadays, that I just don't know anymore. I would say I would vote for Romney just because Obama, like, he sort of prolonged the recession in ways that we shouldn't have, prolonged it, and he bailed out a lot of companies that I didn't really think was appropriate. But I think Romney would have done the same.
Really?
So yeah, I think he would have bailed out a couple companies.
Okay.
And it's only because he's from Massachusetts. That's all.
Honestly, I fucking hate Obama, so you know.
Right.
Romney
I
wouldn't
wouldn't.
have been great, but it wouldn't have been. It would have been better, and I'll take better.
I would have. I probably would have voted for someone else, like a third party, just because I don't like either.
Ears perk up.
No.
Yes.
I think I would have.
Yes.
No.
I think I would have voted for a third party in 2016 as well.
Libertarian.
'cause-
Libertarian. No cap.
Right, just because Trump didn't present himself to be the best. Like, if there's one thing Trump is just fucking horrible at, it is his image. He does not know how to maintain his image.
Honestly,
That
that's
is a
kinda-
problem.
That's kind of the charm, though. Like,
Yeah, it's a charm, right? It's what people,
It's
voted
what people.
for.
Yeah, people voted for someone who wasn't through a filter. You know.
Exactly. And I'm not opposed to presidents being, all over the place like Trump, but it really just, if you really want your party to win in next elections, it makes it hard.
Yeah.
So, it's a double-edged sword, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm sad Trump didn't get it a second term because he would have been a little bit more bold with his decision making, right?
Maybe we would have actually gotten a full-fledged wall.
Right. He would have been, because at your second term, you just don't give a fuck anymore, right?
Right, because
Yeah.
there's no more re-electing. You just do whatever you want to do.
Right. So he doesn't need to win out the moderate crowd, as
Right.
Anymore.
But of course, it is helpful to remember that for one-term presidents, like what Biden's going to be, his one term is essentially his second term. He doesn't really
Yeah.
care because he's not going for a re-election. And
Yeah.
as such, he can basically do whatever he wants. And apparently,
I don't-
what he wants to do is bomb kids in Syria.
I don't know if he could do whatever he wants because Kamala, I think she has presidential aspirations.
Well, yeah, and with Biden basically being a Kamala puppet, I swear, if Kamala is our president in 2024, oof.
I don't think she could win. I honestly don't think she could win.
She's not gonna win, but she
if
might kill
Bernie
the man.
can't win, Kamala can't.
Right, but
Kamala's too radical, in my opinion. She's way too radical.
okay, she's not seen as radical like Bernie, right? But she's the most radical person in the Senate, or she was.
Well, she's
So
still
it's-
radical.
Yeah, she's very radical. And-
Honestly,
Or
I'd
some
probably say
leftists.
that Kamala's probably more radical than Sanders.
Yeah, 100%. And her, criminal justice policy has been a disaster in California. Just a
What is
complete
it?
fucking disaster.
Don't, let's not even rant about that one.
Well,
No, actually, I want to
basically,
hear this.
she's very against marijuana, so she'll
Why?
lock up. I know it's weird,
Was it?
and Joe Biden's very against marijuana as well.
That's so
by the way.
pointless.
It really is.
Wasn't it the Democrats who wanted marijuana to be legal, like in California?
Well,
Oh wow!
this
Look,
is
the left is eating itself again.
Tulsi Gabbard. I think you know about Tulsi Gabbard, right, Chow?
Enough.
Yeah, she's like sort of a moderate ish.
Ew.
Yeah, but it's weird. I would, if it was between like Tulsi and I don't know someone else in the Democratic Party, I'd vote for Tulsi. But other than that, she made a very good point when Kamala and Tulsi were running for president in 2020, where she said Kamala, she locked up innocent black kids for marijuana charges, but then laughed about how she smoked marijuana in her youth on Charlemagne the God's, radio show or whatever he has.
That's such a bro moment.
So it's the hypocrisy. It's
Yeah.
major
Yeah.
hypocrisy.
Anyways, gamers, this has been a very productive discussion. But there's still more.
I agree. There is more.
We're not done. Next,
No,
let's
not
talk
more.
about something we've mentioned a little bit before with Obama, Medicare for all, and how well I'll just let explain. Fuck! God damn it!
just do that. I'll let Kaika
yeah,
explain.
it's fine. Okay, take it.
You'll let who explain?
Kaika69 _
Virgin Destiny player.
Okay. Okay. Basically, I don't know if Biden really. He promised free Medicare for illegal immigrants on the Democratic
Wait,
stage.
really? Why?
Yeah. Because I'm not joking. While they were having the debates, the Democrats, one of the moderators asked, "Raise your hand," or not asked. They said, "Raise your hand if you support Medicare for all for immigrants, illegal immigrants." Excuse me. And literally everyone on that stage raised their hand.
What the hell? Okay,
I know.
This is so fucking wacky because, like, the whole thing of, like, Medicare for all, I don't really like it at all. It's a really bad policy, but if it's gonna go to anyone, it should go to fucking citizens of the country, not
Right.
fucking freeloaders who come in illegally. What the hell? Like, what? And what about legal immigrants? What about people who came here legally? They get treated worse for doing it right? What?
Yeah. I mean, there's no easy way to say this, but Democrats are inherently anti-American, right? But that's not like they're not disagreeing with that because the radical left is inherently anti-American. So it sort of checks out if you really think about it.
I mean, I guess, but this isn't really the radical left. This is the left. This is the whole deal.
Right. But think about it like this. And this is an estimation what I'm about to say. I think it's pretty safe to say a third of all people in the Democratic Party are pretty radical, like really left leaning, right? I think that's pretty safe to say.
Right, because the center has shifted to the left and yada yada yada. I get that.
Right.
But
But that's like a major part of the constituency that the Democrats have to please.
right, but like this is so extreme. It's wacky almost. I mean, like it's socialism but anti-national. It's like against the people who are living in the country and only for people who came here illegally. What's the point of that? Like, what are you gonna get ID'd? It's like, oh, you'd like to apply for Medicare? Are you an illegal immigrant? They say yes. What's gonna happen? Seriously, what's gonna happen?
As long as they're in a sanctuary city, nothing's gonna happen. I'm not joking. Legally, the police cannot report illegal immigrants to ICE.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, say that one more time.
Legally, in states like California and New York, the police cannot report illegal immigrants that they have in custody to ICE.
So basically, what you're telling me is that you can't report illegal activity.
No, you can. You
I
can, but the police cannot.
So the people
Yeah.
who are supposed to enforce the law are
Can't
not
enforce the
allowed
law.
to enforce the fucking law.
Yeah.
So it's basically giving you a candy,
Kong?
right? Telling you you're not allowed to drop this candy. But guess what? You can drop this candy this one time a day. But you're not supposed to drop the candy.
Hong Kong.
Honk honk.
So that's pretty
Or what-
based. Not gonna lie, it's pretty based.
Our world is so backwards. It's crazy.
Yep.
So fucked.
Wow.
But
And okay, hold on. I just realized there's this one little side thing that I wanted to put into the podcast, but I forgot about until now. there is this sentiment that has been going on for years that the right, not the left, the right is becoming increasingly extreme, and obviously anything that disagrees with them is automatically alt-right, Nazi, fascist, bigot, racist, sexist, blah, blah, right? And so what happens is, if all of the right is being labeled as these buzzwords, then there are people who are like, wow, what happened to the right? Conservatives are so extreme. When in reality, it's not that the right has shifted away from the center. It's that the center has shifted away from the right. It's that being a moderate is now inherently leftist. It's pink capitalism. No, really, it's pink corporatocracy. If you know, you know, right? It's woke capitalism melded with corporatocracy and neoliberalism in this festering pit of ideologies. It just leads to this completely dysfunctional mess. And that's the center right now. That's the ideology of unity and sort of, I'd say, sensibility that has been completely lost over the past couple decades because of the left. I completely blame Democrats and modern-day American leftists for bringing the American center over to their side. I will say that, and I will defend that for days.
I think it's leftists and liberals that are becoming more radical, and people on the right, because everything is becoming more radical, they have to sort of come closer to the center. So it's more like Republicans are becoming more moderate, while Democrats are becoming more like left.
Yeah,
like hard left. Exactly. And it's kind of ironic, but I mean, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, like if
how it is.
you even like so as much as show the iconography of a Nazi flag, which, by the way, was arguably totalitarian center, not even totalitarian right, because it was National Socialist, with the keywords being nationalist and socialist, right? So it was, a factor of each side, not just one, right? If you show a Nazi flag in any kind of imagery, that site, your profile, everything will just get immediately nuked. And you will be eradicated from the face of whatever tech platform you posted it on. And that's not inherently a bad thing. Because while I do agree with freedom of speech and freedom of expression, first of all, it's not censorship by the government, so that's better. But also, it's a hateful ideology that calls for mass killing. And, well, I shouldn't have to explain my mass killing is fucking terrible, right? But here's the thing. Communist flags, especially those of the Soviet Union and Maoist China, who have committed way worse atrocities than Nazi Germany, are allowed to propagate in spaces like academia without any type of censorship or quick context. And if you post yourself with a commie flag on big tech, you will not be eradicated, you will not be censored. That is a double standard. They're both terrible ideologies, but one is allowed to propagate, and the other is immediately shut down, and this poster is nuked off of the site.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because people don't realize this, but communism/socialism has killed over 100 million people throughout history.
Yeah, and
enslaved
Nazi Germany killed 20 to 25 million people, and that's stretching it.
Mao killed more. Yeah.
Yeah. Mao killed 50 million just alone.
Right. And that number is even estimated to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But communism has enslaved a lot more as well, right? We can't forget that. They've enslaved over... some estimates are as high as 1 billion people. So this is very serious topic, and I don't think... As you said, I don't think one extreme is better than the other. I think both extremes are horrible and garbage.
They're both horrible, and to try to make one look better is honestly, it's kind of sickening, because it's like, yes, this one committed more atrocities, but they both committed atrocities. They should both be punished equally.
Right.
And
There's no
you know,
equality in this world, you know that.
I know, but there's
There's no balance.
They should at least try. Why are communist flags allowed to be shown in basically all areas of modern day life without as much of the bat of an eye? While
I could actually answer this.
oh, please go ahead.
Answer.
So it's because there's a common there's common sentiment that racism is bad, right?
Yes.
But there's not common sentiment that censorship is bad. So
Unfortunately,
because
yeah.
right, so because most of the communist/socialist regimes practiced a lot of censorship, and the anti-racist rhetoric wasn't put to the forefront as much as the censorship was,
Mhm.
and because of that, it's allowed to look decent or good in most people's eyes that are socialist,
Right.
because they don't really believe in freedom of speech.
Right. No, they're authoritarians. They're worse than statists. They're like ultra
Right.
statists. You know.
And that's the difference, right? Because most people remember Hitler for his his racism, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And his anti-Semitism.
Most peop- right.
His genocide.
Most people remember Stalin for being an authoritarian person that cracks down on anyone who opposes him.
Right. And they don't
Yeah.
remember him for the almost genocide that happened
Right.
under Stalin that was stopped by the collapse of the USSR.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
That happened, or it almost happened. Like that was
Yeah.
the plan that Stalin made. He was going to start committing genocide, and it was going to be on a larger scale because it was a larger country. Oh, and by the way, if you want proof of concept for that kind of thing, China is currently committing genocide. Right
yeah,
now.
actually
Right
becoming
now,
genocide,
in 2021,
literally.
right now.
Yeah,
And
not even joking.
they're actually kind of debatably, communist because they've had a lot of quote-unquote dangus reforms, but they're still called the CCP. They're still waving that flag, and they're still committing genocide in the current year.
China's a little special because they're communist in terms of their politics, but they're capitalist in terms of their economics. So it's a very interesting.
The trade
It's
is
very
good, but
interesting
people
as
aren't.
right, and most people say, well, as you said, the freer the market, the freer the people. Well, in this situation, I guess sort of goes against that, right?
Right, it's like
It has to be capitalism all the way through, not just half and half.
right, exactly. No, what you have is a market of puppets. You have just people who are only allowed to act in a certain way, and thus it's not. It is an anti-free market by definition, but at least it's a market as opposed to communism, which is just,
Yeah.
50 million people starving to death.
Or in North Korea, literally everyone but the people in Pyongyang. What, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Pyongyang? I think that's how it
Yeah,
is.
Pyongyang.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered that from anyone who's from Pyongyang and listening to our podcast.
Bruh.
Not gonna
Really
happen.
butchered.
There's probably like one person that will eventually find our channel and then listen to me
Maybe,
just saying that.
maybe.
Yeah. And then
No,
they'll be like,
no,
oh my
we're
god, I
still
feel so
public.
included.
We got 16 concurrent viewers, right? 16 unique?
Pretty sure it's like
Yeah, it might be
17.
more by now.
Nah. Yo, slow your horses, boys. Slow your horses. You
Yeah.
still just subtract you two.
Yeah.
It's 18. Fight me.
Alright, yeah, go on.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so
Alright.
next we have to
Oh, wait.
talk about.
Oh, no. Wait, you have something to say, Kaika?
Oh, I was gonna make the segue.
Alright,
No,
you can
I
make
wanna do
segue.
the segue.
Nah, you've
Alright,
made,
you do
you
the
made
segue.
enough
Yeah.
horrible. I'll make the next segue. What we're talking about next?
$15 minimum wage.
Alright, guys. Guess what? We're gonna talk about poggers. Money! Minimum wage, more
No,
specifically.
that is
and-
not poggers.
What? Money's not poggers?
No,
Whoa.
money is
Nah,
poggers.
you heard this, viewers. He doesn't like money.
I'm
Take all his
literally
money.
an ANCAP. Shut the fuck up.
Anyways, smooth transition. We're gonna be
Yep.
talking about the minimum wage. I'll have Kaika give us more detail.
Because he's just
Well-
an info bitch at this point.
You know, me and Chow, we just do the segues, and he just does it all.
Yup.
Go for it.
So, I mean, this is how. By the way, we have 25 unique viewers now. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm gonna log in right now, and I'm gonna prove you wrong.
All right, log in. All right, so $15 minimum wage. It's been a long time. Long time in the works in the Congress. It's been proposed a couple times through other bills. It's never passed because it's completely radical and stupid.
Based.
And if you don't understand why the $15 minimum wage is bad throughout the country, well, let me explain it to you like this. California, where we live, is a big state, right? People are paid more, so if we raise the minimum wage here, it would still be a problem, but it won't be as big of a problem if we raise the $15 minimum wage in somewhere like West Virginia, where the average household income is substantially less compared to California. So it's a disaster. It's gonna erase a lot of people's way of living in a lot of states with just this one bill, and we will see actual recession, maybe even depression with this, because no one's going to be able to find a job.
Especially in addition to the COVID
Right.
depression that's already basically planned to happen in the next couple of years.
Right. And people, there's gonna be less jobs available and less hours to work. So it's gonna mean less money for people in the long run. And I'm sorry, but the free market is very good at dictating how people live. And this is not it, right? This is gonna force a lot of people to leave. It's gonna force a lot of people to essentially resort to the government, right? And because a lot of people are out of work, they're making no money, they're going to resort to governmental assistance.
Or crime.
And that's going to drive up our debt. And because there's not a lot of people working, the debt can't be paid. And because the debt,
that they want that, because socialism.
right? And because the debt can't be paid, we're going to go into recession. And if it continues for a long time, we're going to go into depression.
And then
So that's why
the
that's
Dems
bad.
are going to come in with the solution. Socialism, everybody! Capitalism has
Okay.
failed you long enough. We're just going to give you money for no reason. 10 years later, everyone's dead from starving.
It's so bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, if California wants to raise the minimum wage to $15, I'll be opposed, but it won't really hurt California as bad as it would in West Virginia, right?
Right,
That's
but
just a fact.
It would still hurt.
It would still hurt, yeah. I don't think it would. It wouldn't hurt people earning
Bro, it
over
would
$15
mow
minimum
down
wage.
A lot of small businesses.
Right. It
know.
completely destroyed. Not even close. Because small businesses, their margin of error, or not margin of error, excuse me, the margin at which they make money, profit, is very, very slim. And that margin has been basically erased because of COVID. So imagine businesses being hit with $15 in the middle of COVID while, they're not getting a lot of traffic, so they can't really pay their bills. Can you even imagine?
Bro,
It's
I
just a
live
recipe
under
for
small
disaster.
business. My parents run a small business, and it's doing well right now, a lot better than we all thought it would. But if this new minimum wage bill is introduced, I mean, I don't know how we'd handle it. We might be able to survive and adapt, but if we don't, I mean, my parents are out of work, and it's a pretty niche skill. That would be a lot of work and a lot of history going down the drain just so that the workers who, by the way, are already paid above minimum wage, would get a little bit more in their pockets, and my parents who put in the risk of making the business would just have to suck it up and go somewhere else.
Right. Well,
Why
people
should
don't
they have to suffer so that the Dems could say that they've saved the day with their new minimum wage?
Right. What people don't understand is that there's not a lot of risk associated with one person taking up a job offer, right? But there's a lot of risk associated with people investing their money, investing their time to a business in which they think they could succeed in.
Right.
Right? People pour in hundreds of thousands of dollars into small businesses just so that they could earn money. People who work, I mean, sure, they're investing their time, but they're getting paid in return. And they're not really investing a whole lot.
It's not even close to an actual business.
Not even
owner
comparable.
who has to run everything in the beginning by themselves. And
Right.
trust me, I've seen it like firsthand. It's not easy. It's really tough, no matter the size of the business, but especially for small businesses.
Okay, it's not going to hurt large corporations like Walmart per se, but it's going to hurt small businesses. And
Yeah.
if you really want like a Russian oligarch approach where there's only a couple people who control the whole economy in a country, I mean, maybe do a $15 minimum wage. Maybe it'll be all right. I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude, it'll be fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Just everyone will starve, and then problem solved.
Problem solved. Yep, it's
Yep.
going to be like North Korea.
Yep, the
More
absolute
bombs.
model country, man. No cap.
Yeah, for sure. Communism, yay.
Yep.
Alright, well.
All right, I think we're.
Speaking of communism, let's talk about our next topic.
I mean, I guess you could.
Nice, smooth.
No,
Sorta,
I was making a
it's
joke. You. I was making a joke. All right, Chow.
What?
We're gonna segue, please.
Oh,
Segue.
Right. Sorry. Okay.
You said
so-
you wanted to do it.
Shut the phone down, bro.
Put on your big boy pants. Put on your big boy pants. Let's go.
I don't have any other pants. I only have shorts. Okay, fine.
All right, go.
Okay, so we were talking about the minimum wage. Cringe. Let's go to some more cringe. We gotta talk about Twitter, the best site on the planet, particularly the incident with an employee complaining about Trader Joe's. Take it away, Kaika.
All right, so basically, there's this Trader Joe's employee who was like, "Man, my life fucking sucks. Right? I'm still working. I'm getting a steady flow of income. Like, how can my life suck even more?" So what they went to do is they wrote up this letter to their boss, and they're like, "Yo, you're following all the COVID restrictions that the CDC recommends, right? But hey, I got another thing for you. Please implement like ventilation systems in Trader Joe's, because although your COVID standards exceed the standards, they're not really perfect. And
They could be better.
you know, they could be better, exactly. And I don't know what this worker was expecting from this, but they got the boot. And I would do the same thing. I don't like, if you don't want to work for me, don't work for me. Seriously, this is a free market. You could always find a different job. No one's forcing you to work here. And there's just Trader Joe's has been trending on Twitter for a couple hours now. It's not going away. So yeah, that's all. I mean, it's like, it just goes to show that most people on Twitter are just fucking commies,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just a little footnote about commies on Twitter. And then, to end it off, we're going back to Twitter because life is hell. We're going to talk about a specific user. Kaika, if you could pull that up on screen.
Yep.
All right. And I'm going to actually open it up on my own tab just so I can, like, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah.
So, let's read some of this, all right? Unite in justice for the poor and oppressed. Wow, that's actually, I wouldn't call it a name, but it's something. It's a nice message. Oh, it's a check mark. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
And they actually have a large following. Almost 500,000 followers. That's a lot.
There's a lot.
That
is-
is
Oh,
quite-
shit.
it's like
Oh shit,
so
Nazis
much more than
trending.
us.
Nazis trending. Why is Nazi trending?
Do you know why? It's because like I think it was CPAC. It's basically like essentially a Republican event, and this is just so stupid. Republicans just keep on taking L's at this point. Essentially, the CPAC, the event, they organized the stage to look like a Nazi symbol.
Bro.
It's obviously not intentional, but
There's this really big brain guy. Let's be clear. The stage was built to mimic a Nazi symbol. This is what MAGA is. The only response that they have today is to stupidity scream liberal or liberalism, showing that they are bored by their own bullshit. I don't know why anyone should be surprised at this, since 45 became the GOP of the god of the GOP. They're talking about Trump, by the way. Far-right and fascist symbology have been a part of their message. And just because someone may not be Jewish doesn't mean they are safe from these people. And they're talking about the fucking, like, this runic symbol that just so happens to look kind of similar to how the stage is built. Oh my god, I'm getting a fucking brain aneurysm.
Yeah, I put it in chat if you want to see something. It's I can see the resemblance, but it's definitely reaching.
Wait,
right?
that is what? That's what? No, that's not even. What are they on about?
Because the stage extends far beyond the thing, right? The
Bro,
walls.
they're reaching so hard.
That from that
They
image,
are
I
very
felt that is reaching. That is so reaching,
I could see the resemblance, but it's reaching.
bro. It's
Well,
like
to say that they
fucking.
built the stage in that exact form to dog whistle about their secret Nazi sympathisms. What?
Look,
Okay,
I
that's
wouldn't
not
build
what
a stage that looks like that. I personally wouldn't, because
It's not
I
great
think-
design. But
right.
what?
you just see those like
Yeah.
pointy little things sticking out, like that's
Yeah.
just a general no. And I guess the people close to power don't realize that.
I mean, it's a dumb stage design, but it doesn't look like a fucking swastika.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's not meant to be a swastika.
It's not a swastika.
Oh,
it's
it's
like a
where's-
symbol.
What is this?
It's
Okay.
this fucking ancient
Othala?
ass, this ancient ass
Othala?
rune that's supposed to be like a Nazi dog whistle or
Oh
something.
my gosh.
What is the fuck? is
Dog
going on?
whistle? Bruh.
Yeah, I don't like.
Stupid. Oh, I swear. Do
The
they have
sad-
nothing better in their lives to fucking do? Like,
Nothing.
is that why they're all virgins?
Yeah, no. Literally, all they do like every day is just be like Nazi.
And jerk off.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously they're liberals.
What else do they have to do?
Oh,
Jerk
well,
themselves off and make fun of other people
Oh yeah,
and
and
fuck
also,
everyone's day up.
like
Yeah.
The sad thing is, so many people's minds are set of Republicans being Nazis that this is just them confirming their theory or their beliefs.
yeah,
Excuse
the
me.
confirmation bias.
Yeah, confirmation. I don't like using confirmation bias, but it's in this situation. Yep.
This is
Yep.
Sad.
cringe.
This
It
is
really is
cringe.
cringe. But when is the world not cringe?
Good
That
one.
is true.
We do live in clown world after all.
Oh, did you see that that music video by Tom McDonald?
Who?
Yeah, he's like this conservative rapper. He made a song. I think he released a song yesterday called Clown World.
Oh my god.
It's something with clown. Yeah, it's Clown World. It's actually named Clown World. I'm surprised you didn't know. Or Chow.
Oh,
I screwed up. Wow.
Whoa, play Lamau Kaika
I don't-
moment.
Okay, I don't think I could play this song because he's on pretty good terms with YouTube.
Nah, dude,
So-
just play the clip.
No, play like
So I think
3
our
seconds.
channel will
Yeah, play
legitimately.
Play
I'm
the
three
clip.
scared.
seconds of it. 3 seconds of it.
All right.
Now.
Burn the circus down, cause the world is full of clowns. They're all stupid and they're proud.
All right.
All right, now that you're back, folks,
All right. I'll
I
put
do
it
enjoy
in
the clip. I've actually never listened to this. I'm gonna watch like these.
I don't care. Shut up.
You should actually listen to it. It's funny.
No.
It's actually kind of funny.
The viewers who listen to it.
Bro,
I
it's that
listen to
one
it.
guy that always makes fun of libs, isn't it?
Yeah, and he made
Oh
he was trending a couple weeks ago for making a song called "Fake Woke."
Wait,
and,
hold on,
canceled.
wait. Yeah, okay, actually send it.
Uh,
Oh my
alright.
god.
I mean,
You're-
I don't like his music. It's not catchy, but
Yeah, it's not
trying to
catchy,
send
but-
a message, which is like, respectful, I guess. But
Okay.
I don't like it when liberals do it. Liberal songwriters do it, so I don't like it when Republican artists do it.
Yeah.
Just stick to music. If you want to send a bigger message, then say it out loud.
You know, I'm actually okay with them doing this because it sort of fights against the institutional norms, which I kind of
Well,
like.
Yeah, but like at the same time,
It's
not
kind of.
really
I find it.
saying
If I were to agree with this, it would be hypocritical on my part because I don't like when liberals do it.
Well, I
So-
mean, yeah, kind of, but not really, because like
How?
the message of the song is supposed to be like really like anti-establishment, and the reason why, like someone wouldn't like when liberals do it is because it is the establishment. But
Well, then-
I kind of get what you're saying though, honestly, because like it's kind of cringe when
Two
people
sides of the
try-
same coin, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, never mind. I kind of see where you're getting at.
It's better than rappers saying they they impregnate every female they see.
Well, why do you listen to that music? There's so much different music. You
Nah,
had to
dude,
go to rap and them
that's fire.
effing women.
That's fire. That's fire. Fire.
That's fire.
Oh my gosh! I think we
But
strayed away from
he
the
does-
topic entirely.
Yeah, but he does actually bring up like valid points in his song. So please
Well,
listen to him, please.
You know, we'll put his link in the description
Yeah.
under everything else. Everything else.
Everything else.
Everything else.
All right.
Under everything else where it belongs.
But no, he's actually. I think he's doing some good. I think he's doing good.
Well,
Okay.
well, you have your opinion, and we have ours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And our opinion is right, and yours is wrong.
Is that all? Did we go through
That's
the
all we have.
list?
Did we?
We went through the list.
Viewers, okay, last thing, viewers.
Okay.
If we said anything that you disagree with, don't send us hate email. Just put it in the comments.
Hate email. Oh my
What?
god,
Put it in the
dude.
comments.
This guy is so old.
Put
It's
in the
hate mail,
comments.
dude.
Okay,
All right,
honestly, if anyone is watching us right now and you fucking despise what we have just been saying for like the past like couple months right now,
Comments.
honestly,
Put it in the comments.
shoot me a Discord DM.
No.
Big Chow at send
Bleep
me
out, beep out, beep out,
Discord
beep
DM.
out, beep that
Dude.
out.
about
You
no,
had to beep
don't
that.
bleep that out. No,
You have to.
fight,
You
fight,
have
Chow.
to.
fight me. I am ready.
You're okay. If you can't take our friend drama, you cannot take this drama, Chow.
no,
Come on.
it's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
I'm definitely leaving that out. There's no way.
If you can't even take the friend drama, I don't think you take this kind of drama.
No,
My concern is that
yeah.
someone finds this podcast and decides to cancel us, and then Chow just gets bombarded with DMs.
Discord.
No,
Yeah.
not for real though. King Chow, come and fight me. Come on.
Just out of your own safety? No.
Why?
No.
Alright,
I'm not doing that.
Century. Fuck you, Chow.
No,
God
I'm not doing
damn
that
it.
either.
Oh. No,
Anyways,
I want to fight libtards on Discord.
well, put in the comments. You can comment. You can put in the comments. Put like so. You know exactly. Put in the comments.
Fine.
Keep the conflict in the comments and keep it out of
So
our life.
ask me your questions, and I will ignore them because I'm a jackass.
All right. So
Big acting
also,
jackass.
put questions in the comments, and maybe one episode
Inside
we
the
might
bomb.
answer them.
Nope,
might.
never.
Might.
Never. We will
might.
never answer your questions ever.
We might, if we run out of things to talk
That's
about.
cap.
Post your thingies in the comments, and we'll answer them.
Cap.
And subscribe if you're not my parents.
Oh yeah, subscribe. I'm gonna put that at the very beginning when we're doing like that funny bit.
Nope. Very end. Subscribe.
Well,
Okay, fine.
Put
At the
in
very
the
end.
end in the beginning. Put like I don't know. Do you whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yo,
I'll make it look
gamers,
good.
if we get
Are we done?
if we get exactly 36 subscribers by the end of the night tonight, I'll officially go on a killing spree.
You know what? If we
What
get
the fuck does that mean? dude?
okay,
What?
Wait, what does that mean?
Okay, 36 people dead for 36 subs.
okay.
Okay, Chow, but
No,
you know I
we're
post
cutting
these
that out.
really late at night, right?
Cutting that out.
Yup.
Okay, that one out. Okay, guys, if you
All
get us
right.
to 1,000 subscribers, we'll send feet pics to your mother.
Based,
That's no.
I already have. This has been King Chow.
Look.
Kaika, yeah.
All right, this has been Sunny. I fucked your mom.
Shut up! I already made that joke.
What if your mom's a guy?
Fuck it. I'm stopping the recording.
You worry about leaving a better planet for our kids. How about leaving better kids for our planet? Entire generation offended at everything, getting mad that a human thinks all lives matter. We don't need black or white or left or right. What we need is common sense. We need balance. We're all in the same boat. Why you trying to make holes? If they sink, we sink. This is madness.